Hello and welcome to this vlogger. In today's video I shall be reviewing the Dell Chromebook 11 model 3180. The Dell Chromebook 11 is a nice piece of kit weighing in at 1.27 kilograms with a width of 303.3 millimeters, a depth of 206 millimeters and a height of 20.75 millimeters. It's good for any student, which, going by some of the design features for this device, was Dell's intent. The computer has been tested to the latest military interpreter standards and therefore can cope with most things students can throw at it. It has an Intel Neon processor clocking at 1.6 GHz and 4 gigs of RAM with 16 gigs of eMMC storage, meaning as long as you don't intend to install the latest apps or your entire movie collection, then it should be fine, as you can easily do web browsing on it. I've been using the device for a week now and I'm very impressed with its battery life of 10 hours, and you only get this from a couple of hours charging, though the device's processing speed is something to be desired, as if you get about 5 tabs open then you start noticing slowdown, though this is quite decent for a netbook type device, though I did notice this when I was writing Google Docs and messing around with the emails at the same time. I'm also impressed with the fact that it has no moving parts inside the case. Like, there's no mechanical hard drive, there's no fans, there's nothing. And this probably lends to why the battery life is so much, because it obviously doesn't need to power the motors that drive the moving parts. This also means that I can put it at any angle that I like without worry that something's going to catch on something and break. This also means there is reduced noise and reduced heat, because there's not as many components in there generating as much heat. Also, the screen can be rotated 180 degrees from close to basically make a straight line, straight like a piece of paper, but it can look very awkward when trying to take a selfie. The display has a resolution of 1366 by 768, and it's nice, good display of colour for an inbuilt display of this type of device, i.e. a Chromebook/netbook, and though I wouldn't be doing colour grading on it myself. Though the sad thing for it is that the screen is not touch, but for the purposes I personally use it for, that does not bother me. The typing on this device is nice, but it is obviously that standard sort of crappy laptop keyboard, though with the advantages of having a USB ports on this device means you can plug in a USB keyboard. Also, that goes same for the trackpad. As in trackpads, I have no personal preference to them, as I don't really tend to use them, so I have no guidelines. But I can say this one feels okay, it feels nice, but obviously I do prefer using a plug-in mouse USB thingy. I know I've always got things messed up. In terms of I/O, there are two USB 3.1 ports for students who can either use, an external mouse or keyboard or both, or a USB stick when they realise that they need an internet connection to access that cloud storage they like to use. Yes, there's also a full HDMI port for extending the displays to a TV, with a HDMI port, obviously, and it does this pretty well. It's rather nice, though I haven't found a way to duplicate the displays yet. I've only found a way to extend the displays. There's also a standard 3.5mm audio jack for headphones or speakers. Unlike other companies, Apple, for wireless communication we have both Wi-Fi and Bluetooth 4, meaning you can connect to your favourite Bluetooth speaker and play Spotify at the exact same time without even paying for premium. Yes. One last thing, it is a bit of annoyance, but it's the Dell Activity Light, as they like to call it. What this feature is meant to be is in schools, which is one of this device's main selling points, is that the student can use the Dell Activity Light Chrome application and, select it from I have a question to I have an answer, or to help me please, or it could be used to answer A, B or C. Shamefully, there are only 3 colours, blue, red and yellow, or more amber. And it's a shame that they don't have like a colour select wheel, because I've got a Logitech mouse and that's got a massive select wheel on it, and I was like £20 something. So why couldn't they put that in there? But I do understand why they put it in there. But on the other hand, instead of shelling out a few £100 each that the teacher would have to convince the school to buy, they could just use an online service like Kahoot, which pretty much would be for the same effect, and you can use it from any device, i.e. your phone, your computer, blah, blah, blah. In conclusion, this is a good device for web browsing, i.e. what it says on the tin. I wasn't expecting something, that could play like Far Cry 5 or anything when it comes out eventually, but I was expecting it to be a very nice web browser, which it does rather nicely. You know, even though, you know, after a few open tabs, you know, it starts to slow down a little, but, you know, as long as you sort of control yourself, you'll be fine. But there are a few down points, particularly if you use an external mouse, and if you're right-handed, because obviously all the USB ports are on the left-hand side of the device, if you're looking direct at the screen, and obviously you have to trail the wire around, though, to be fair, you do have a trackpad, so it's not a big scrape, and the external mouse is an optional extra, which is more the user's fault then. But it would be nice to have a USB port on the back, well, not the back, I mean the right side. But also that stupid light, I mean, who was thinking about that? But anyway, my final score for this device is an 87 out of 100. Yes, even though there are a few drawbacks, majority of it's good, particularly for the price of £204 as of eBay as of the time of purchase and review. Anyway, this has been Alistair for this vlogger for a review of the Dell Chromebook 11 model 3180. Goodbye.